Revenge films.
I have two sons, and both of them are married. When my eldest got engaged, his future and her family said very sternly, "Don't contact us unless for ceremonial occasions." It turns out that the wife's mother went through a lot of problems with her mother-in-law. Of course, I had no intention of bullying her whatsoever. I wanted to make friends with her because she was going to marry my son and become a part of the family after all. But if she had really seen her mother have lots of issues with her mother-in-law, I could understand what she could be thinking, and so I accepted. One day, during that time of silence between me and my elder son's family, a letter from my eldest arrived at our home. I only wanted to let him know about it, but when I picked up my cell phone and called him, for some reason his wife answered with an extremely cold and sarcastic, "What do you want?" When I told her that a letter had arrived from my son, I was met with a similarly abrasive, "Oh, is that so?" and then asked for the contents of the letter. After I briefly explained, "We don't need it, so throw it out," was the only response before she swiftly hung up. Okay, what the heck was even that? I was doing what I was asked to do, to put some distance between her and I. I wouldn't have even called had the letter not arrived. But she acted as though I'd thought of a good excuse to try and call my son. Finally, pissed off at my daughter-in-law's actions, I talked with my eldest, who just happened to stop by with some of his belongings, along with my husband.
"It's what my wife decided."
But he just foolishly replied he was completely under his wife's thumb, and there was nothing that could be done. So I told him, "I will not contact you. If anything's delivered here, that's for you, all right?" A year later, his wife contacted me suddenly saying, "FYI, I bore a child." Obviously, me and my husband were overjoyed, it being our first grandchild. So I said, "What? Well then, how about a gathering when things settle down?" But my daughter-in-law said something that left me in shock. "The hell? Could you not, please? The celebrations can come in the mail." That's what she said. That was when we really got the message that it wasn't worth it at all. So after talking it over with my husband, we decided to cut them both free. Of course, we never sent any celebrations. We were contacted again by our daughter-in-law. "No celebrations even when your grandchild's born? Are you mad?" I simply responded with, "I didn't know what to send to my grandchild, who I'm forbidden to even meet," and left it at that. A year later, my younger son got married. My younger son's wife is a cute little flower that smiles and laughs a whole lot. And when we met her parents, with this joyous joining, "Please take good care of our daughter and her family," they treated with such kindness, and I was relieved. I guess my mentality changed a bit since meeting my eldest's wife and her parents. My youngest's wife often contacted us, and on Mother's Day or Father's Day, she would so kindly directly bring a present and say, "I really do hope you enjoy." She and my youngest would often come over, and we would have dinner together. "Oh my, your cooking is so delicious! Teach me the recipe next time I come, please!" What an angel! Obviously, hearing such things made me so happy. So when I told her my youngest's taste in food, both he and she were overjoyed. Additionally, she would pay us 3 seasonal visits, and she would bring back a small present from a short trip somewhere. And she eventually invited me out to lunch because we have the same hobbies. With the experiences I'd had with my eldest's wife, I was grinning from ear to ear. Oh, what a kind, amazing girl she is. However, it was around then that I realized my eldest's wife was poking at her. I'm paraphrasing here, but apparently she was insulting her, calling her things like a rat that was after the family fortune. I got very worried when my youngest told me about this, and I asked his wife, "Are you all right? Are you having a hard time? Such a chowderhead, isn't she?" She responded with a smile, proving that she wasn't really paying any attention to her. I laughed with her, saying that she really is a chowderhead. Such was life for a while, until the notice that my youngest's wife was pregnant. She gave us the news when she came over together with my youngest. Of course, we were beside ourselves with joy. Even while pregnant, my youngest's wife could come over and ask me, a veteran in childcare, many questions. She gave birth without any complications, and she invited almost immediately afterwards, so our love for this grandchild of ours was beyond anything imaginable. We have our eldest child, but because we're practically forbidden from meeting them, we started to acknowledge that this new child was our very first grandchild. We asked her preferences in baby carriages, baby products, and clothes, and sent them her way. She was very happy about that, and we all lived happily ever after. But for the fact that around that time, my eldest wife emailed me saying, "Spoiling the wife of the brother and absolutely nothing for us? Traitor!" Me and my husband were unfazed. Had she forgotten her own words from a few years ago? However, because I wasn't responding to her, heeding to her own words, mind, she finally came around with this message. "What is the meaning of all this? You seem to be buying lots of things for the wife of the younger brother, doesn't it? If you have that much allowance, it's only natural that you buy something for our child too. Not to mention, this child is the child of your firstborn. It's wildly different from the child of your younger son." This illogical nonsense. I couldn't help myself from snorting with laughter. That may be so, but do you remember that we were doing what you asked us to do? You told us to never contact you unless it was for ceremonious occasions. That's beside the point. Isn't your grandchild adorable? My youngest son-child is quite the adorable angel, yes. They're the child of a daughter-in-law who spends time with us, smiling for us a whole lot. She even invited us to see her child soon after it was born. So, on the other hand, you declined seeing anything of us. And these past few years, we've only seen each other, 2, 3 times? Nonetheless, it's obvious you should take care of your grandchild. Say what you want. We have no intention of keeping any relations with you. I hung up after that last retort. A few days later, I got a call from my eldest saying,
"This is too far, Mom!"
"And what do you think you're saying, mister? It's also your responsibility that you did nothing to defend us, however badly we were treated, and that you were under your wife's thumb this whole time. I'm sorry, but we're thinking of legally passing the whole family estate to your brother and his family. Adhere to your wife's wishes, break ties with us, and go on leading your happy life with her."
What? Wait a second, Mom! You're being crazy!
We don't need you bickering to us about what to do with our own estate. You need not come to any ceremonious occasions anymore, and don't bother coming to our funerals. I didn't hold back and hung up. Then I felt light, and I felt like some dark cloud leering over my chest was dissipating into nothingness. By the way, my husband and I aren't very fashionable kind of people, so we have quite a bit of savings. So we obviously wanted to do many things for my eldest and his family at the beginning, but those intentions are nowhere to be found now. And here we are, never holding back, supporting our youngest's family. Our youngest wife would always say, "I feel sorry with you doing all of this for us." But I would answer that it's what we want to do for our grandchild. No presents thus far, but after I told them we've no intention of handing over our estate to them, my eldest family started calling us, checking up on how we were doing. And while they never did before, they came to visit during the New Year's celebration. Happy New Year, everyone!
Happy New Year, Mom, Dad.
Their eyes seemed blank, and me and my husband regarded them with cold bitterness. They'd never brought us any gifts, but they did on this occasion. But the insincerity left us unfazed. I sympathized with grandchild, though, and like my other, I gave them a New Year's present. But they were treated like they were part of the air in the room, as they should be. The difference in closeness and treatment between a daughter-in-law I hadn't seen in 3 years and a daughter-in-law that visits thrice a week is all too obvious. We had just about enough of them when they tried to stay indefinitely. So, you've greeted us. What's stopping you from leaving?
Please don't say stuff like that, Mom. You're so cold.
What's with this nonsense again? No excuse for not showing us your child for all these years. The present I gave your child was a token of mercy. They did absolutely nothing wrong.
We're really sorry. We're gonna start seeing you more often from now on, so please don't say such things.
Of course, we're gonna let our child get to know you too. We don't need that. What's more important is that we're going on a hot spring trip with your brother's family. We can't lock the house down, so I'm telling you, get out. My eldest and his wife got teary-eyed. But this is what they get for what they did. so I have no intention of sympathizing.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.